Hey guys, welcome back to the Nikko Daze Show, your weekly dose of softness in a world that's always asking for more. I'm your host, Nikko, and if you're new here, I'm really glad you found your way to this space. If you're not new, thank you for staying. Thank you for choosing to come back. Before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Make sure you hit follow on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, and like our Facebook page. Every click helps this little safe space grow and maybe, just maybe, reach someone who needs it today. Okay, now take a breath, inhale and exhale. Let's talk about something a lot of people our age whisper about behind closed doors or cry about in silence at 2 a.m. Something that doesn't get enough attention because we're supposed to be in the prime of our lives. Today's episode is titled, Burned Out at 20, when life feels like too much. This is for the ones who are tired and not just sleepy. The ones who feel like they've been running a marathon since they were 15. The ones who've been called mature for their age so many times, they started skipping childhood altogether. The ones who are always on, always pushing, always trying, and now they're exhausted, numb, checked out. If that's you, stay with me. This episode was made for you. Let's have this conversation. Let's have this moment. Together, let's start the day's check-in. Let's have the day's check-in. Picture this. You're standing behind the counter of a fast food place. The smell of grease clings to your shirt. Your feet are screaming from a double shift. And your manager just yelled again because you forgot to upsell the fries. There's a line of customers, one tapping their card too early, another mumbling their order, and someone in the back yelling about a refund. You've got exams next week. Rent is due. Your mom is asking when you're going back to church. You haven't texted your friends back in days. You're 20, and somehow your life already feels like a cycle you didn't sign up for. So now I'm asking you, when was the last time you weren't tired? Not just I didn't sleep tired, I mean soul tired, emotionally burnt to a crisp. When did everything start to feel like too much? Was it after you took on 2 jobs to support your family? Was it when you realized your dream career might not pay the bills? Was it when you kept showing up for everyone else and they stopped noticing you weren't okay? And here's the deeper question I want you to sit with. Who told you that your worth is based on how much you can endure? Let that one settle. This day's check-in isn't to fix you. It's to sit with you. Because sometimes burnout doesn't look like fire. Sometimes it looks like numbness, a hollow chest, a fake smile at work, a tired I'm fine when your voice cracks at the end of the day. So be honest, just for a second. Do you feel seen in that scene? Then you're in the right place. Let's keep going. Let's set the scene. You're 20 years old, working at a fast food joint 5 days a week while trying to finish your degree. Your classes are stacked from Monday to Friday, back-to-back lectures, group projects, quizzes you barely studied for because you just pulled a closing shift the night before. You clock out at midnight, smelling like fries and grease. You still have a paper due the next day and 2 unread messages from friends asking if you're okay. You think about replying, but you're too tired to even feel. So you throw your phone on the bed, open your laptop, and stare blankly at the screen. You used to be someone full of passion, someone with hobbies, someone who looked forward to weekends. Now you barely remember the last time you laughed without faking it. That was me. I was 20, and I was tired, not just from school or work, but from the emotional weight of always trying to keep it together. From being the eldest son, from trying to live up to expectations, from pretending I wasn't falling apart inside, there was a season where I was doing everything right, going to class, clocking in, hitting deadlines, showing up for my friends, and yet every night I would break down in silence, in secret, because admitting I was burnt out felt like failure. I remember one night vividly. I was in the break room of the fast food place, sitting on a crate, eating the staff meal alone. I scrolled through Instagram and saw people my age in Bali, laughing in cafes, doing photo shoots with their friends. Meanwhile, I was shoveling rice into my mouth, trying not to cry from exhaustion. You tell yourself, it's just a season. But what if the season never ends? What if burnout becomes your baseline? What if survival mode becomes your identity? That's what scared me most. The idea that this was it, that I'd never feel light again, that life would always be this grind of proving myself to everyone, my family, my professors, my boss, my friends, even strangers online. And no one really saw it, because burnout at 20 doesn't always look like breaking down. Sometimes it looks like showing up. Sometimes it looks like overachieving. Sometimes it looks like being the reliable one while quietly drowning. I remember walking into class one day after a 9-hour shift. My hands were trembling from too much caffeine and too little sleep. I couldn't focus on anything the professor said. And when I told my classmate I was tired, they said, "Same, we're all tired." But it didn't feel like the same kind of tired. Mine felt like grief, like I was mourning the version of me that used to dream. That version who wanted to write stories, take photos, create music. But there was no time for that now. Only work, only school, only expectations. That was the beginning of my breaking point. I started to disconnect from people. I'd ignore messages, skip out on birthdays, stop answering calls. I couldn't keep up with everything. And when I tried to explain that I was burnt out, I was met with, "It's just life. We all go through it. Just keep going." And I did, until I couldn't anymore. What I wish I heard back then, what I want to say to you now, is this. You don't have to earn your rest. Burnout isn't weakness. It's your body saying no more. It's your soul screaming for space to breathe. Looking back, I wish someone had told me that being tired all the time at 20 isn't something to normalize. That rest isn't laziness. That I was allowed to take a break even if the world kept spinning. That's part of why I created this show. To be that voice I needed. To remind someone, maybe you, that burnout is real and you're not alone in feeling it. You're allowed to pause. You're allowed to say, "This is too much." You're allowed to want more than just surviving. And if no one else gets it, I do. We're going to talk more about how to process this in the next part. But for now, take this in. You are not broken for feeling burnt out. You are human. A young one at that. And that's okay. Let's take a breath. You know what they don't tell you about growing up? That burnout doesn't always come from doing too little. Sometimes it comes from caring too much, from trying so hard to be enough for your parents, your boss, your professors, your friends, even for strangers online, that you forget to be enough for yourself. And maybe that's where it all begins. Burnout at 20 isn't just a result of school or work. It's the accumulation of invisible pressures. The pressure to have it all figured out before 20. The pressure to grind so you don't fall behind. The pressure to be the strong one, even when you're crumbling inside. The pressure to not disappoint anyone, even when you're already disappointing yourself. And when you're burnt out, you start to believe some dangerous lies. You start to think, "I'm lazy. I'm failing. I'm not good enough." But here's the truth I want you to remember, not just for today, but for every time life gets heavy. You are not lazy. You are exhausted. You are not failing. You're doing your best in a system that demands more than it gives. You are not broken. You're burned out. And that's a very human thing to feel. You're allowed to pause. You're allowed to say, "I can't carry this today." And no, that doesn't make you weak. It makes you self-aware. It makes you brave. It makes you real. We live in a world that glorifies hustle and productivity. We clap for people who never rest, who keep pushing, who stay on, even when they're silently falling apart. But that's not the kind of life we're trying to build here. Not on this show. Here, we value rest. We honor softness. We choose gentleness, even with ourselves. So if you're listening to this right now and thinking this is me, then I want to tell you something I wish someone told me when I was 20. You don't have to carry everything at once. Take off the armor. Set down the guilt. You've been strong for so long. Maybe now it's time to be human again. And if no one said it to you yet today, I see you. Not just the version of you that performs or achieves. I see the tired you, the trying you, the real you, and I'm proud of you for making it this far. Now breathe, because the world will keep moving. Yes, but so will you. At your pace, in your own way, without burning out who you really are. Let's take a moment to turn inward, because sometimes the answers aren't out there. They're in you. If you have a journal nearby, or even just the Notes app on your phone, I want you to sit with this. What part of me is tired that no one sees? What expectations am I carrying that no longer feel fair? If I gave myself full permission to rest without guilt, what would that look like? Let your answers be messy. Let them be honest. You don't have to filter them or make them poetic. You just have to tell the truth for yourself. And if it feels like too much, start with just this. I'm burned out because, and go from there. You don't owe the world your perfection, but you do owe yourself your presence. Write it all out. Let it breathe on the page. And maybe, just maybe, you'll start to feel a little lighter. If you've made it all the way here, I just want to say thank you. Burnout isn't just about work or school. It's about the weight you carry that no one claps for, the silent expectations, the invisible labor, the masks you wear to look okay, even when you're running on empty. I hope this episode reminded you that you're not lazy, you're not broken, you're tired, and that matters. Whether you're a student working double shifts, a fresh grad questioning your path, or just someone who feels too young to be this exhausted, you deserve space to rest. You deserve softness, and you deserve people who won't shame you for needing that. And if you don't have that in your life right now, I hope this show can be that space. Even just for a few minutes. We'll be here every Wednesday and Saturday. Same warmth, same realness, same days. Until then, see you in the days. Love, Nikko.